10. Fear and Evil. December the 6th, 1955. Good morning, friends. There is an undercurrent of fear in our generation which paralyzes man and increasingly clouds his days and hours. This fear has many faces, and one of its manifestations is the fear of evil. For man today, nothing stands secure. The very ground he walks on seems unsteady to him. André Gide gives us what is unquestionably an extreme case, and yet one of the most revealing of our day, when he writes in his journal, quote, "I know a man whom a single thought sufficed to plunge into deepest melancholy. The single thought that, in the near future, he would have to buy a new pair of shoes to replace those on his feet. This man's case should not be considered one of avarice. What he felt was a sort of distress at not being able to stand on anything lasting, definitive, absolute." C.F. Ramu's What is Man, page 45. This man's experience has a very real kinship to a common experience of our time. Most men feel that nothing is certain anymore. They feel lost in a meaningless world, and if they believe in God, yet he remains vague and inactive as far as they can see. The one sure thing for them is evil. The evil they see and feel seeping into all of life is nothing so old-fashioned as death and taxes. It is a nameless dread and terror. It is an emptiness which seems destined to be filled only with horror. It is a waiting, a long and unrelieved waiting which evil and only evil will fulfill. For modern man, Satan is more real than God, and hell more real than heaven. After all, he already lives there, and finds it therefore a simple matter to believe in it. He may hope and hunger for something better, but what he actually expects is that the bottom will drop out of everything. For him, life is like that. And this gives the clue to the meaning of this fear of evil. For such people, life is like that. It is basically destined to issue in evil because the only real power in their lives is evil. The natural man has no goodness in him. The power in his life is bent to sin, his radical drive to sin and death. Since this is the only power he knows in his life and experience, it is the only real power he can imagine at work in the world. Men are afraid of evil when evil is the only power at work in their lives. The only way that fear and evil can be overcome is for man to know the power of God unto salvation. When we know the power of God to destroy sin and death in us, we know also his ability to destroy its power in the world. When we know God as our Creator and Redeemer, we know him also as the absolute sovereign over all things. Nothing in all creation has any meaning or existence apart from him. We know that since every fact in creation is a created fact, and therefore has meaning only in terms of the will and purpose of God, then evil has no meaning in any immediate or ultimate sense apart from the eternal counsel of God. This fact makes the ground beneath our feet marvelously secure, because the very earth is a creation of God and can only witness to his glory and serve his purpose. Instead of insecurity, we live, move, and have our being in the security of God and his will. We can undergo all things through Christ who strengthens us, because we know that he is the captain of the whirlwind and the storm. All our waiting is on God, and it is characterized by hope and security. In any and every circumstance we have this assurance: our God is with us. We can say with David, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me." Psalm 23:4.